standing.
Okay, welcome. This is Rob Dahl's speech. Here is my audience. And away we go. Okay, in 1989, I was a young father. I was going to school full-time. I was working full-time. We just had our first little baby girl. And in an effort to improve my situation to provide for my family, I interviewed to be a customer support technician at WordPerfect Corporation. Through that job interview, it was recommended to me that I applied to be a sales representative instead of a technical support operator. And through the course of that interview, I ended up getting the job as the sales rep. And we ended up moving with our family out of the country and had a great paying job and with good benefits and had a really good life. We had some wonderful experiences living in Manitoba and British Columbia, Canada. We were able to serve in church callings wherever we went. But as the company was sold and changes were made, I found myself on the outside looking in, unemployed at that point. And as my career has progressed, I've found that I've scrambled for jobs. At times I've made a great living, at other times I've really struggled. And I've had to really manage my career and get over feelings of never quite measuring up to the job market. So as the new economy grows and changes, it's going to require more education. And it requires a more educated and skilled workforce. Many jobs require a bachelor's degree. Even if it's not in that field, they just require that you have a bachelor's degree, and at a minimum to be considered for employment. It doesn't seem to be what your degree is in, they just want to have it. It doesn't matter how good you are at your skill set. If you are deemed uneducated, you are also deemed unqualified for the job. After my mission, I was content to come home, go to school, teach and coach, and have that be my life. And I was counseled to maybe get a career that would make me more money, where I could help contribute to the kingdom of God, with money. I listened to that and started chasing paychecks. And it's at times it's been wonderful for my life, and other times it's been very painful. Where at times I've had great earnings, I've even had even greater struggle and anxiety in my career. Now at the age of 54, I'm back at school so I can go coach where I started 35 years ago. My topic today is going to be stay in school and follow your heart. Whether that be traditional school or a trade or a skill, you need to have something to set yourself apart in this world. Today we're going to discuss the earnings potential of those with a degree as opposed to those without, and different types of degrees. We'll talk about earnings potential, the cost of an education, and also job security and emotional well-being of those that have a degree or that don't. The first item I'd like to discuss is earnings. How much can we earn? And I know that's always an issue, no matter what job you have. According to a Georgetown University study, this is reference number 1, the college payoff. Professors Carnival, Rose, and Shea estimate, and these are not real hard numbers, but they estimate that without a high school diploma, over the course of your life, you can expect to earn about $973,000. With a high school diploma, you can expect to earn about $1.3 million. With an associate's degree, you can expect to earn about $1.7 million. With a bachelor's degree, about $2.3 million. With a master's degree, about $2.7 million. With a doctoral degree, about $3.2 million. And with a professional degree, you can expect to earn about $3.6 million. That being a doctor, a lawyer, some sort of professional degree. There are also significant earnings associated with the trades. Whether you choose to be an auto mechanic, or an iron worker, or an electrician, or a carpenter, many jobs do not require a college degree, but require a specific skill training. These jobs pay well. In fact, based on Professor Luckwalt, the best jobs for trade school graduates, which is my reference number 4, you can expect to earn between a bachelor's and a master's degree, as long as you are skilled and have something that the world deems valuable. So while the average cost of a public institution, if you're just go the traditional route of 4 years of school, Average in-state tuition is about $9,400 a year. So the 4-year cost of an education would be $37,600. And that's according to the website www.bigfuture.com, based on just nationwide in-state tuition. So as you start to look at that cost of $37,600, that's a lot of money. But it's nothing compared to the earnings potential that we just heard about, where the actual earnings difference is from having no high school diploma to a professional degree about, $2.5 million. So as hard as it is to go to school, it's certainly worth it. The investment is certainly worth it in the long term. So while the financial numbers alone speak to the value of an education, there are also things you can do to compensate for it. Many companies have tuition assistance, there are scholarships, there are grants, other things to help make the cost of education attainable. Now I'd like to shift gears and go to the psychological benefits of having a degree as opposed to not. So at times I've earned a good living in my life. I've also taken an emotional battering, and it's taken its toll on my marriage and my relationship with my children, how I perceive myself, and the security of my family. Last fall I took a course in marriage and family relations, and when we got to the chapter on roles, providing, and outcomes, I was amazed at how much my life had become just a statistic in this book. It was, the text spoke of struggles both financially and emotionally with those with less education. There were strained marriage relationships, children were less likely to pursue a college degree. The husband usually struggled with self-esteem, a result of not having steady employment or not to be able to better take care of his family. And the fact that I have many diverse jobs on my resume is a red flag warning to many other employers that either I wasn't steady or I wasn't reliable. And so I was struck at how much my life had just become a statistic in this textbook. In my case, my wife had to go to work to help make ends meet, and while we have a strong marriage and happy children, put a strain on our relationship and our ability to spend time together. We didn't have money for family vacations. It restricted our children's ability to participate in extracurricular activities, and was a strain. I've been fortunate that my children have married well and have plans for education. I'm very thankful for that. I have a son-in-law who did an ironworker's apprenticeship, and does very well at his job. My oldest is a nurse, so she's gone back to school to be skilled. I have a son who's just newly married and has some plans to go back to school, which I hope he does. And my youngest got an associate's degree while playing collegiate athletics, and hopefully has plans to finish her degree. I encourage each of my children and their spouses to attain as much education as possible, to increase their chances of success and add to your emotional well-being and your relationship as a couple. I struggled with my own self-worth for years and years, and I felt the effects of depression and helplessness. In a study at Washington and Lee University, which is my reference number 2, Dr. Goldsmith and Diet, their study was called Exploring the Link Between Unemployment and Mental Health Breakdowns. And they share that with joblessness comes incomplete psychosocial development, feelings of helplessness brought on by a perceived lack of control, and failure to obtain the non-monetary benefits of work, such as a structured day, shared experiences, and status that come with those things. I felt each of those as I struggled with temporary jobs, underemployment, unemployment, menial jobs. I had to adapt and learn how to control my depression with exercise, because we didn't have health benefits to help me deal with what was going on in my life. And so with those emotional benefits, I'd like to now transition into, to avoid becoming a statistic and to have more flexibility and stability in your career. Buckle down and get as much education as you can. While I cannot prove or have any evidence to say so, I'm sure that my lack of a college degree has helped with some of my unemployment. When budget cuts come along, it always seems to be the person without the degree is the first one to get cut. And when we had the downturn in the economy from 2007 to 2009, the fact that I did not have a degree severely hampered my ability to get a job. All the jobs that I was qualified for middle age, middle management, those jobs disappeared and the economy changed. So, in conclusion, I'd like to state that we've all been given gifts, and we all have something that we can share with the world. We all have strength to make this world a better place, and by achieving as much education as we can, we put ourselves in the best possible situation to make a difference. By sharing our gifts to the world, we can make the world a better place and have the peace and fulfillment that comes with helping and serving others. In closing, while I've struggled at times with unemployment and depression, I've kept my covenants and I push forward with a smile on my face and with faith that better things are ahead. And the gospel has been a light and a shoulder upon which I've leaned heavily. I have a roadmap now, hope to finish it strong, and I appreciate your time and for being here. Thank you.